Good evening. This meeting of the WSESU will come to order. This meeting is a hybrid meeting, which means that some or all of the public body is meeting remotely, and some are meeting physically in a previously noticed location where the public may attend to observe, listen, and participate contemporaneously. Please note that we will strive to provide means for those attending remotely to participate in the public comment period. There may be technical difficulties or reasons that otherwise prevent or interrupt remote public participation. Therefore, it is important to note that open meeting law only ensures the public's right to participate and comment at a public meeting by attending at the designated physical location as posted in the notice and agenda. If a member of the public or the public body has technical difficulties accessing this meeting remotely, please alert us by email. In the event a technical difficulty cannot be resolved, we may continue the meeting if necessary at time and place certain. Please note that all votes taken during this meeting that are not unanimous will be done by roll call vote in accordance with the law. Thank you. And we've gotten all of that out of the way. I'd like to make an amendment to the agenda as part of the administrative report. We will hear tonight about BOCES that Mark has been putting together. We cannot make a decision about it, but we can hear about the work that's been done. So I'm very excited to hear about that. Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. Is there any part of the consent agenda that anyone would like to remove for consideration? Great, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Thank you. The consent agenda is approved. And we are moving on to the administrative report in whichever order you wish to take it, Mark.
Okay, sounds good. So we'll start with a food service update or a food nutrition update. This board has been super helpful in supporting the Supervisory Union develop our own food program. And I feel like we've been quite successful to start the year. So I wanted to take an opportunity to invite Harley Sterling, our Director of Food Nutrition, and Susan Grabowski, our Coordinator, to give us some updates on work that was done over the summer, some statistics, and then get a sense of how we've started the school year, with an understanding that it's only been a couple of weeks of school, and we will likely ask to come back to another meeting later in the year, late winter, early spring, maybe to give an update on how the year has gone at that time. So Harley, I'll turn it over to you and Susan, and we have a slide deck that Harley's put together that's, I think, really great.
Well, I'll try to be respectful of everyone's time, not yammer on too long, because I do like to yap. But thank you, Superintendent Spino, and thank you all for your support of this program and helping us launch it. The main thing I want to just sort of report back is the sort of the success of our summer program that we initiated this year. So Susan helped me put this together. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Last year, WSESU, there were about 10,000 summer meals going on. Summer meal service program is a free program for any child 18 years of age or under. It's meant to bridge the gap for kids who get a lot of their nutrition needs met at school. So in the summertime, they go to places where they can get that need met, either school sites or other public sites in the community. So last year, about 10,000 free meals were served through the district. And this year, we served 151,919 total meals, largely due to the success of our non-congregate meal kit program, which was a new program here where kids could get a multi-day kit of meals, basically 7 lunches and 7 breakfasts in the form of a bag of groceries, fresh produce, etc. So we ran that here out of the high school. Definitely want to give a shout out, special thanks to Hannah the principal, and Ricky Aether, did I say that right? Who were both incredibly supportive, and I can't tell you what a difference that made in making this all possible with their letting us use this space. So families and any child or any family with children in their household could drive up here and pick up a bag of groceries, non-congregate meal kit. And the first week we did it, June 23rd, we served 759 meal kits to children. And then by our last distribution on the 14th of August, 1,533 meal kits were distributed, which I think the week before we did a little bit more.
Yeah. 1570.
Which is the largest single day distribution in the summer food service program in Vermont history, as far as I know. So I just want to share a few photos. I mean, this is what it looks like. So production lines, filling bags, 1,500 bags is a lot. Each one of the tables in the VUHS cafeteria could hold about 102 bags or something like that. And then, you know, getting corn from local farms by the pallet and loading it in. It's a messy process, shucking corn and putting it on bags, and sometimes they rip and sometimes the corn has worms, and I get it, but the staff did an amazing job. And in between shifts of doing that, we were able to spend a lot of time investing in staff training, which was just great to have everyone under one roof. So we were doing a pizza dough making workshop that day, which was really awesome. And then we found out that we had some hidden talents on our crew. Many of the staff that we have from Afghanistan bake bread every day at home, we found out. And they put out some incredible pizzas, and they're still doing that here at high school and at academy school. Budget stuff. So this is just a cursory read of the budget numbers that were reported. So about $245,000 on food spent in expenses. Supplies, $22,000. Staffing and benefits, $251,000. 41 is a breakdown. You know, hourly employees were 43% of that. Admin 24%, and then benefits. And then the revenue was $643,000, plus another $10,000 in support from
Brattleboro. Human Services.
So right now we're looking at a good net positive there, but really the take home for me is that this is $643,000 in federal revenue from the USDA that came to our community, and was new money coming into the system, going to staff, you know, people in our community, our local food system, because I think at least 40% of the money that we spent on food was spent within the state of Vermont, or hyper-local beyond that. So back to the school year, we just started. I like to say we're building. We're not just doing. So we're trying to take the time to really continue to invest in staff training. We have another slide about staff, but I'll just highlight it now. That we're proud to say that we have hired 100% of the existing staff who worked in our schools previously. And we're investing in training with them and moving them around into different roles and trying to find complementary skills. And it's been awesome to have so many dedicated professionals who really want to be a part of this new program. Immediately we're seeing some participation increases. At one point in the second week of school, I think we did 800 lunches at UHS, which is like a 40% increase in historic levels. So it's a little unpredictable what's going to happen each given day, but we're really trying to focus on some key areas of not running out of food and making sure that we have fresh salad bars and options stocked. But as the director, I'm very sensitive to making sure that we're always getting better. Sometimes I do feel like I only hear the negative feedback, but that's just how it goes. So we have a menu that is designed to be very versatile, so that it can be implemented at schools across the district that have varying levels of infrastructure and staffing. So we have a lot of elementary schools that are of similar size, but huge disparities in the kitchen infrastructure and what they're able to do. Meals being transported to Green Street, meals being made in a very small space in Oak Grove. So we're trying to have an adaptable menu that can continue to build, and we can continue to hone in on strengths and address challenges. We have invested in some dishwashing capability at the high school as well as academy school, which is really critical because the more time you spend not doing dishes, the more time you can spend doing scratch cooking. First day of homemade pizza dough was last Wednesday, and we are proud to say that all the pizzas being made with local organic flour, homemade sauce, and real cheese that is sans sawdust.
So I made the mistake of opening this slideshow right after I finished a peanut butter jelly sandwich. And I was like, I gotta change my plans moving forward.
Yes, staff are welcome to purchase the meals, we love that. This was a big leap though, getting everyone to make pizza dough from scratch. It's a scary thing. Our staff definitely were worried about that, but we've been working on it all summer through the summer food service program and able to do a lot of repetition and training. And I think that it was largely successful. These are pictures from BUHS where we did pizza extravaganza last Wednesday. And then in the middle is the kindergarten at Academy where they're free plated. Big salad bars everywhere we're working on, and increasing halal offerings, which has been really fun new initiative. If anyone was at the new staff orientation, we let our Afghan folks create a lot of local dishes, and they've made these beautiful potato flowers that unfortunately were wiped out in the first 4 people through the line. But I managed to snap a picture before that happened. And then these were some test offerings that we did during the summer for our staff meal, where we discovered they had this amazing point of view, and it really shows you what they're capable of. We invested in a new refrigerated salad bar at the Academy School. It's just delayed due to supply chain issues. So for the first day of school, we are improvising, and I think that has been a big hit. The kids really love seeing all the color and having the choices, and just empowered to select vegetables and some protein offerings on their own. So we're going to keep building on that, and we're going to continue to try to pursue other funding opportunities so that each school can have the best salad bar that they possibly can. So same about the staffing. We are now fully staffed as of Monday, and we have a great crew. We're working on training with them, and we think that they're going to be a great fit. I've been psyched because I've been saying, hey, you two are the first hires to this program, because right now I was the only new kid in the entire crew. So they've jumped right in and been awesome. And yeah, next steps, we're just going to keep building. Not going to give up. It's obviously it's gonna work. Like many things, right? Every day goes perfect, and there's never any challenges or unexpected hiccups. This was a pretty bad day. I was sitting in the office, and the delivery guy comes in and is like, hey, you need to come see this. And I kind of pushed back at first, and I was like, really? I need to stop what I'm doing to come see something? And he's like, yeah, you really do. This was an entire pallet of milk hitting the deck in July. So that was a fun.
Great photograph.
It's dramatic, right? 153,000 free meals for children is a great headline. What really makes it happen though is just grit and grind, and we had, I think it rained 4 Thursdays in a row when we were doing our distributions, and that was not good for my mental health, because when you have that much food riding on a big distribution like that, it is scary. And we had tents blowing away in the wind, pouring rain, but as you can see, this team really gels together and has a great culture. And we had people dancing in the rain and Marisa with her pom-poms there. So just really proud of this team coming together, and I know that they're going to continue to build, and that's going to be our greatest strength. Yeah. So this concludes my presentation.
This is
Amazing. So when I, yes. We definitely want to take time for comments and questions for Harley and Susan. When I was looking through this slideshow earlier today, what stood out to me, Harley, was not necessarily the pictures of kids, but the pictures of staff. And you could see that the proudness, the appreciation, and that they are being invested in terms of training and feedback, and that's huge, and that's a breath of fresh air. So, off to a great start from my perspective. I've heard nothing but compliments from students and families alike and staff. Not that everything is always roses. We'll have our days, as you saw. But looking forward to continue to build this program, this partnership, and happy to come back later in the year to give an update. But I would like to open it up for questions and comments if there's time.
Is there anybody on the board who'd like to ask or make a comment? Go ahead, Ken.
Actually, just a huge thank you, because I know the summer program is daunting, and the number that you served just shows the quality of the food, of the meal kits that you all were preparing and sending to these kids that are most at risk during the summer. So thank you for all of your work there.
And this is gonna sound like a rude question, so I'm gonna try to make it sound better by saying, how do I flip this?
Yeah.
Make sure you come back to us with what you need so that next summer is as successful.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, what does next summer look like? And then I was like, no, sorry, I'm not gonna do that, but we want next summer to be as successful, so if there's something budget time that this board can do, let us know.
Thank you for saying that. Obviously, the summer program presents a huge opportunity, both to support the program with resources financially, but also to address the needs in the community.
Yeah.
Susan was very supportive in helping get this started, because there was the consideration that in the first year we had so much riding on the school opening that running a massive summer program was going to be a huge distraction. So I was sensitive to that, but I really thought that we should just jump right in, and this team pulled off something truly incredible. And I just found out today that we only got to third place in the entire state in terms of the size of the summer food program by $4,000. So it really is massive what they pulled off. And
Wow.
I just thought it was a great way to start, jump right in. Don't take it slow or timid, but thank you for saying that.
Yes.
As a parent who benefited from the program this summer, I want to say that they were all very friendly, kind, and helpful. And every time that I did come, it seemed to run very smoothly, and we're very appreciative of that.
Yeah, good.
I was just thinking back to a meeting probably about this time or a little later last year, and I really want to echo the vision of Susan and the Farm to School Committee. Because at that time there was this discussion of like, how can we take more local control of our food system? And it felt a little insurmountable maybe initially from listening, and then there kind of grew this momentum, and it is just so incredible and so inspiring to see that vision that you've led, Susan, and also the birth of this program to where we are today. I got to eat that lunch at New Hire Orientation, and it was like the best thing to share with our new employees that we offer this kind of quality of food at our site. So just to think about the birth of this idea and this kind of like, we could never, how could we, to see where we came in such a short amount of time, I think is also very notable, because it is a huge system that shifted. So thank you so much for your work. And one quick comment I heard from a teacher actually at Dummerston how much the change in the school lunch program has impacted the students' ability to take ownership and choice of their nutritional decision, and how noticeable that was with the students who could get seconds if they were hungry, or choose something or not choose something at the salad bar. And from a staff member's perspective, not only was that great nutritionally, but it was great in terms of developing self-efficacy and executive functioning and healthy choices that really have a huge impact in kids' lives. So I wanted to pass on that rumor.
Thank you.
I want to back that up. When we started this program 10 years ago, something like that, it was dedicated to the idea that a hungry child cannot learn. And a child that is not served a good lunch will not eat it and will be hungry. When I see these pictures, I'm reminded of, like, we went through this for months and months and months, and it turned out so wonderfully, and I had no reason to expect that this wouldn't. And you've met my expectations, you've surpassed my expectations. And I want to thank you both for all the work you've done here. And I want to thank you on behalf of our kids and families for feeding me good food and enough food and giving them options. This is, it doesn't seem like it's education for outside this room, but inside this room, we know it is. And this matters. Let's grow healthy kids, and we are. So thank you again.
Thank you.
And Tim, I see your hand up.
Yeah, Harley, I just wanted to pass on a couple of comments at the BAM's Leadership Council. Not one, but two parents said that their kids, they used to pack lunches for their kids, and their kids told their moms to stop packing lunches because the food at BAM's was better. So I guess that's a good thing for the moms, a little extra time. Also, I wanted to acknowledge the great job that Sue did on Vermont Edition. That was a really good episode.
Here. Thank you, Tim.
Thanks.
And thanks, everyone. I mean, it is very difficult in the world of child nutrition and food to please everyone all the time. But, you know, we can promise that we're going to keep working at it and building. And I think that this is a great team, and we're going to really put our best forward each and every day. So thank you all for your support and making this happen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for bringing this up. I had specifically asked for happy children eating vegetables. I got happy children eating vegetables.
They weren't actually eating, but they were grabbing.
If they're grabbing is good enough. Wanting to eat them is quite sufficient.
I know we have lots of transportation folks here, but I'm gonna ask for your patience. We do have one more presenter who is planning on tonight. Jill Graham, if she's on the Zoom.
She is, let me ask her to unmute. Actually, I'm gonna make you a co-host, then you can start your video.
I don't know if it's possible for somebody to hook up on the screen and get her in.
She can share, she can share a screen, sure, because I made her a co-host, so she can. I think. Oh, but except we're not hooked to this one, and
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
cannot run the meeting, the Zoom,
Yeah.
and this one.
Yeah, I
are all
can
the
see
same
it.
time.
What, yeah,
Ooh,
how can we have
thank you, Dave.
So I'll give a little background while we're getting that organized
So
here.
I'm gonna allow Jill to,
yes.
Yeah, I think I made her a co-host.
Okay. Yep, now multiple presenters, I think we're good.
So I think 4 years ago, I came to the SU board with this concept of being a part of a learning collaborative with area school districts to take advantage, hopefully the vision was to take advantage of resources, to partner, to identify programs that we could invest in. And we frankly got a slow start to that. We had an executive director in place who was really great, but only stayed for a short period of time. But Jill Graham has been with us now for a good chunk of time, so we are starting to see some momentum. And that we have the potential of becoming the first BOCES in the state of Vermont, which is very exciting. So tonight, this is more of an informational presentation of what a BOCES entails, which school districts have already officially voted to join, and others who have been a part of the collaborative for, again, I think about that 4 years period. So I think Jill has about 12 slides to share and just give an overview, and we can come back to this at a future meeting in terms of voting to officially join. Jill, is that enough of an intro?
That's perfect, Mark. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to start my video. Fantastic. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you very much to members of the board and to the Supervisory Union staff as well for allowing me to join with you this evening. My name is Jill Graham. I am the Executive Director of Vermont Learning Collaborative, and I am proud to say that I am starting year 2 in this position, and I'm very excited to share with you information this evening about the agency's accomplishments and our next steps as we pursue approval as a Board of Cooperative Educational Services, or a BOCES. So currently, our collaborative is comprised of the following 8 members, which represent the Southeast region of the state. And while the agency has been in existence as a nonprofit since 2014, the focus previously was really on just providing professional development and fiscal agent services. And then several years ago, area superintendents were invited to be on the board with the intention to shift the agency to become a regional service agency. So the member supervisory unions and districts at that time provided some foundational funding in order to conduct a landscape analysis to determine the feasibility of regionalized services and to conduct a nationwide executive director search. So the agency officially relaunched in 2023 as an educational service entity committed to the Southeast region of the state. And these are our current board members, which represent our area superintendents, our special education directors, as well as designees. So the vision or the purpose of the agency was created as a result of the landscape analysis that was completed a few years ago. And this study identified the highest areas of need within the region, which included high-quality educational programs, services, and evaluations, professional development that would build regional educator capacity across both general and special education, recruitment and hiring services for hard-to-fill positions, coordination of resources as needed to promote cost efficiency. And these areas are really currently the North Star for our services to our members. Since the relaunch in 2023, we have begun providing many of those previously identified services. And this has included evaluations, contracted related services, and recruitment and hiring. In 2024, we expanded those services to include really robust professional development within the area that focused on building capacity in both general education and special education focus areas. We've been providing district consultation that's focused on really strengthening and supporting in-house programs that currently exist that serve students with highly specialized needs. We've continued recruitment and hiring, and the agency has been able to really support cost savings across districts by offering shared professional development that's cost effective. We've provided an opportunity to investigate very efficient and cost effective mandated training suites, offering evaluation services and de-escalation training. Ultimately, we've been able to coordinate resources and provide services that have really promoted district compliance, efficacy, and cost savings. An analysis of the cost effectiveness of our services compared to similar services used by our members from other agencies really yielded some significant results. For example, across staffing, when we are able to coordinate shared staffing models across supervisory unions, we can save up to 50% of a full-time equivalent position. for a supervisory union. For our evaluations and services, the average savings of our services compared to a non-VTLC provider is around 38%. Our providers are locally available and they do have a timely turnaround, which has been able to really ensure compliance with special education timelines. Our consultation services, as I mentioned, have really focused on building in-house capacity for supervisory unions and districts, their own specialized programs, and this has helped members realize savings up to 60% compared to other non-VTLC consultation rates. Our shared PD across the region have saved members more than 66% of costs compared to hosting that PD on their own or sending folks out of state for some of that professional development. And last but not least, I am really proud to announce that this fall we opened the first regional program hosted in a member supervisory union, which is Windham Southeast. And our OWLS program is currently located at Oak Grove, and it's a program which is providing high quality services in a local, less restrictive setting, and ultimately has the opportunity to keep students regionally local and can provide supervisory unions and districts significant cost savings compared to sending students to other out-of-district placements that are sometimes out of state. So ultimately, across all domains of services that we have offered, we've been able to realize savings for our members by leveraging efficiencies through economies of scale. When legislation passed in 2024, it allowed the establishment of boards of cooperative educational services. And a BOCES is an educational service agency that can provide shared resources and responsive solutions that meet a variety of both short-term and long-term regional challenges in a cost-effective manner. And it's realized when we have two or more supervisory unions or districts that join together to deliver shared programs and services. And what can we provide? You've heard me say already, we can coordinate resources to provide high quality, cost-effective professional development within the region. We can reduce duplication of effort for staffing by recruiting on behalf of supervisory unions and school districts and pooling resources for shared low incidence staff. For example, board certified behavior analysts, clinicians, English language learner teachers. These are some of the positions that we have helped supervisory unions with. We currently have a model where we have a board certified behavior analyst being shared across two supervisory unions. Neither needed a full-time person, and this is a great way to realize efficiencies and cost savings. We've been able to provide the optimal size and cost-effective and geographically accessible locations for specialized programming, which realizes reduced tuition and transportation costs for supervisory unions for those students who really require that high level of specialized programming. And within those programs, we can improve educational outcomes for students by increasing their social connections and their opportunities to really engage in their education in a way that is accessible for them. So the charge of a BOCES is to exist to provide cost-effective solution for its members by leveraging scalability. It's one agency with the ability to provide regional, efficient district and supervisory union solutions for all needs. And we have the privilege, as Mark said, and the unique opportunity to build a system and an infrastructure from the ground up and to be the first in the state. The more frequently a BOCES is the first call for a supervisory union or a district when they need assistance, the stronger the agency becomes over time to meet regional needs. In other states, educational service models have existed for many decades, and they provide support to rural, suburban, and urban school districts. The establishment of a BOCES requires 2 or more supervisory unions to enter into an agreement to form an association to deliver those shared programs and services. So that agreement requires a governance structure that is outlined in this document shared here called the Articles of Agreement. And this document is a culmination of a year's work with our board, the Vermont Agency of Education, as well as support and guidance from the National Association of Educational Service Agencies. It outlines our processes and our procedures in each of the bulleted areas that are listed below. So our next steps. We have been working with the Agency of Education over the past year to transition to a BOCES. Currently, our Articles of Agreement are in the hands of our member boards, and they are currently being voted upon for ratification. Once we are approved as a BOCES by the agency, we will have greater capacity to organize our resources and provide services to our members as an approved educational entity. Our challenge is that as an agency, we are building an infrastructure from the ground up that does not currently receive any state funding other than a very small startup grant to support our initial costs. And I just want to say we're very, very proud to have a very pioneering and dedicated board of directors who have really demonstrated a very strong desire to establish a robust network of support for the Southeast region, ensuring that we really collectively drive improvements in educational quality and access for our students. And it's very exciting to be able to share with you that we have 2 affirmative members whose boards have voted to join BOCES, and that includes Mountain View's Supervisory Union and Springfield School District. And we know that our remaining members will be voting in the upcoming weeks as well as into next month. So I am very, very grateful for your time this evening. And I welcome any questions that you may have, wanting to also be respectful of the agenda that you have before you.
Questions? Right?
Yeah, I'm unclear how this fits with the redistricting and reorganization statewide, and how this is different from the initiative that we already have on the table of our supervisory union joining with other supervisory unions. I'm not sure what the difference is. I don't know whether.
So there is a distinct difference. This is a learning collaborative. The concept of this learning collaborative was developed 4 years ago. And the vision was just what Jill presented around providing opportunities for districts to share resources, potentially share staff, to hire really hard to find positions, which was really evident during COVID recovery, but positions like SLP positions, board certified behavior positions, clinician positions, multi-language teacher positions, and also with the vision to develop programs to keep kids in our school district and away from out-of-district school placements, which are enormously costly and I would argue not good for kids or families. So the OWLS program that Jill referenced is a new program that we started this fall at Oak Grove School. We have 4 students participating in that program, and the hope is over time we can grow that program as long as it is sustainable and that we have the staff and support to do that. So I definitely, I wouldn't want to make that initial total connection to redistricting. This is more about resource development and working with our neighbors, whether they're part of the district or not, to support one another, to collaborate, and to identify the resources and interventions and staffing that are hard to find for our various school districts. Does would you add anything to that, Tate, or?
That's well said. We're trying to increase our capacity to support students with more challenging or more significant need, who need something that might be more challenging to provide within a mainstream school environment at times. And at other times, like we're demonstrating with our OWLS partner program, we're bringing a few kids back from specialized programs and working on how to, what supports they'll need to be fully included in their home school, and then have the next kids come along that we can give that kind of service to. So it's very exciting.
Other questions?
Can we get a copy of this slide presentation?
It's gonna be mine, actually.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that would be
And
great.
we'll post Carly's and Jill's slide decks on the website.
Thank you.
And I appreciate Brian's question, because I knew people would make that leap.
Or not.
Yes.
Some of us still haven't.
Yeah.
And this is specifically about special education needs as opposed to everybody.
Okay.
So what happens next?
What happens next is we would decide whether or not to
To
join
join,
this BOCES,
okay.
but it was not warned, so we cannot
So we
vote.
can, okay,
We cannot
okay.
vote for it.
okay.
Jill, did you have something you'd like to say?
Thank you so much. If I may, a BOCES has the opportunity to provide a bevy of services. And while they are often most associated with providing really high quality special education services, they can do whatever their membership needs. And so, for example, that could be cooperative purchasing, it could be transportation, it could be providing technology services or human resource services or business office services. So it really, there are unlimited opportunities. It is only by whatever the needs of the membership are that we are limited.
Thank you for the correction.
Just clarification.
It's okay. When I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong. Anybody else? I would like to thank you for coming to talk to us tonight, and thank you to the team who's been working on this so very hard. I definitely see this as a great idea, and it has the potential to really improve, for the short term, our special education programs, and possibly for the long term, all of our educational programs. So, I think it's a good idea. We can vote on it next month. We can call a special meeting if you all want to call a special meeting, but
I think waiting until next month is perfectly fine.
it's fine. Thank you again, Joe.
Thanks, Jill.
Thank you.
Thank you all so very, very much. I really appreciate your time and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you.
So looking at the agenda here, back to school report, transportation, I'm gonna kind of combine those two. So I'll hit some quick ones first here with new hires and resignations. We have one new hire, Kevin Crowder, as a BAMS special ed teacher.
Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? The only discussion I have is, we prefer to see the CDs before we're cured of it. So, thank you. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Okay, welcome aboard.
And we have one resignation, Olivia Clark, ML teacher at BAMS, will be moving on in December.
Motion to accept that resignation with regret.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Thank you very much for your service, Olivia.
Okay, thank you. For a fiscal report, just quickly, and you all know this, that we have our annual audit taking place all week this week. So space in central office has been, provided for that to take place. I'll report as it's gone very smoothly. It looks like Thursday may be their last physical day in the office. And then they would be doing some off-site work, but They have all of the information that they need up to this point, so, kudos to the business office, who is just, in my opinion, top notch, top shelf, and in the prep that they've put into the years long worth of work, but also in allowing this audit to move forward smoothly. Frank has also reported that we have a favorable year-end fiscal report, which is on our website. In terms of back to the school report, I'll keep it tied to transportation. I think it's well known. We started the school year with substitute drivers, and the immediate feedback was a lot of issues, a lot of chaos, especially in Bratttown, smoother in the outlying schools, but certainly a lot of issues that needed attention. Second day of school, I was in touch with folks at the local branch, giving very specific feedback and asking for what are the next steps, how are we gonna right this ship. That has continued the last 2 weeks. There's another meeting on Wednesday of last week to again get an update. By that time, our drivers have been back in their buses, which has been terrific. And more management resources have been brought down to the local office to help get things back on track. They are not completely on track, but it seems like we're moving in the right direction. Had another meeting on this Monday with some more updates, a look at some software and technology that's going to be implemented in the local branch, and dissatisfaction phone calls have decreased, emails have decreased, but it's not perfect. I mean, we still have things we're ironing out. Just this week, working with the folks at the transportation company to get more information from our schools in terms of which students are riding the bus daily or weekly, and which students are not, so that we can really develop new routes and new bus schedules that's realistic to the needs of the families and the folks who are accessing transportation regularly. That information was shared this afternoon. So the hope is, I don't want to speak for others, but my hope is that this new technology, Transfinder, would be used to decipher all of this information and to create super efficient routes that accomplish 2 things. Less time on a bus for students and crystal clear clarity on where you go to get on the bus in the morning and where the bus drops you off in the afternoon. Those are things that need to be accomplished for 100% of our families within the next, really ideally yesterday, but within the next day or 2. That is if we provided the correct information, and if we haven't, we'll continue to work to solve that, because this is a critical service that families rely on, just like food service, which we started our meeting with. So that's the overview of how the school year has transpired. I know we have folks from maybe bus drivers, looks like we have some Teamsters here, we have some new managers who have joined the office. I don't know everybody who's here. Does it make sense to do introductions?
I'd be happy to take introductions.
Okay.
Well,
Maybe
am
start
I
here, go
starting?
around.
I'm Jen Braun. I drive the B3 route and actually the Career Center this year now that Kayla's gone.
I'm Jonathan Harris. I'm the Senior Operations Manager for Travel Co's.
Emo Chinawith, I'm the Vermont Operations Manager, VP Operations Manager for Northern New England, Vermont, New Hampshire.
I'm Peter Delani. I'm the Vice President of Client Relations for the company.
I'm Beverly Gibbs Randall, I'm a school bus driver, special needs.
I'm Gretchen Harvey and I drive for Dummerston.
Kimberly Winter and I'm an SE driver for Brattleboro.
Janet Bratton, I drive for Guilford.
Catherine Cleveland and I drive for Vernon.
Michaela Donovan, I'm a bus monitor.
Bobby Powers, I drive Dummerston and downtown on the main route.
Gino Palmieri, I drive one of the Putney routes.
Ryan Wallace, representative for Teamsters Local 597, represent these lovely drivers and monitors.
Great.
There's a gentleman back in the corner.
That's okay. I'm Janez from J&J Transit.
Former student of mine.
Way back when.
So I'm glad everybody's here. I hope we're all working towards the same thing, which is righting the ship and moving forward with a fair contract, which last night Curtis made that sound like it could be imminent. I'm not going to ask for any negotiation updates. I don't think that that's fair. But I would ask for maybe some updates on things that have been done to proactively get things moving in the right direction in terms of service.
Sure. Yeah, we appreciate the opportunity to be here and acknowledge, as Superintendent Spano mentioned, the disruption to service caused at the beginning of the year in the first couple of weeks. And just in my capacity prior to coming with the company, I was in education for 31 years as a school administrator. So I certainly understand that the really most important things that are occurring in the day here for the teachers and administrators and parents and students are what happens between AM drop-off and PM pickup. And our responsibility is to make sure that the district isn't being pulled into the transportation business, particularly during those hours. So we met on Monday with the superintendent and his team to go through items that were listed in the letter that we received on September 2nd to make sure we addressed those specifically. And I know that there have been subsequent follow-up meetings with Sarah Larico and the special needs director the last couple of days to make sure we're addressing those. So again, it is the contract and the relationship is important, and it's important to us to make sure that we get it right and to acknowledge the gaps in the services that have caused a disruption to teaching and learning. So we take that seriously. To that effect, Jonathan, who as he mentioned is the operations manager, and Emo Chenoweth, who is the Vice President of Operations for the Vermont region, are here to talk specifically about what are the steps we've taken subsequent to Monday, and to answer any questions specific to improving the service. Okay. So.
Yeah, and again, Emo Chenoweth, I will say that I was brought in on Monday, the first meeting that I met Mark, and so I'm a little bit behind the 8 ball, but in that meeting, I think one of the things that we really picked up on was our lack of communication and processes in our systems that we had at the local office, as well as deficiencies within the facilities that we had. So we're working on that, working on our phone system to upgrade our phone system or our dial pad system in order so that there was a message, I guess, that said, if you have questions, call the district. We don't want you involved with that. That's our responsibility, and that's something that we need to do. So we are looking at all that. And again, like Pete said, I know Sarah Larico, we got the SE special needs riderships, and over the last 2 days, we have rerouted all of those special needs students. Sarah met with Eleanor this afternoon, and she was very happy with what routes were there. There's still some more work to do with that, but we were able to take what we were doing with 7 routes and now run it with 6 routes, which would be then obviously a savings to the district. And also take a lot of the special needs students were riding on the buses for extended period of time, it's over 2 hours, and we've reduced that so that special needs students on a route are no longer on more than an hour, or under an hour for each special needs student. As far as the regular ed, I think Mark touched on it. The data we had was incorrect for us, so we've asked the district on Monday. We went through, had the meeting. Mark and I met with Mo. I can't remember her last name. Hart, thank you. And came up with a new spreadsheet for the principals and for the staff to give us better data on ridership numbers and ridership. We did get that this afternoon. We will now take that and upload that within our routing software to better make the routes more efficient and more timely on that, and hope to have that done within the beginning of next week for the routing process, for the district's approval.
I appreciate your update, and it is the most sincere hope of this board and the district that this labor dispute is solved directly. But I'd like to make something very clear. Do not send me drivers who are not capable of reading do not enter signs. Do not send me drivers who turn off their stop signs in the middle of Canal Street with a parent and child right in front of the bus. Do not send us bus drivers who almost back into another bus. This is unacceptable. And this will not happen to our students. Our families rely on these buses. Without these buses, many of our children cannot attend school, and they will not be doing it with unsafe drivers. Thank you. Tim, did you have something you'd like to say?
Yeah, I have a question for Mark. When does the SU renegotiate a contract with the bus company?
4+ years.
But we have the renewal every May.
Yeah, there's a renewal period every spring.
But how much longer on the contract is there?
This is a new contract.
It's a new, like,
3 years, isn't it?
3-year contract, five-year contract.
It's a 3+ year.
So the renewal is in the spring.
Sorry, Tim?
And then the other question, it surprised me that special ed students were on the bus for 2 hours. When you say that it was cut down to 1 hour, is that 1 hour total or 2 hours round trip?
Per route. AM and PM, 1 hour AM, 1 hour PM. I don't know, where am I talking?
So these kids spend 2 hours on the bus every day.
And these are out of district placements, or these are our students?
These are our students within the district, so we've cut them down to about 45 minutes per sped route from beginning to end, correct?
And with reducing the number of routes from 7 to 6, is that putting more children on the bus longer?
No, it's actually reduced the time.
Okay,
We just became more efficient in how we were doing it.
because there's really no reason that a bus from my house to Putney Central should take 45 minutes.
Correct.
It's a 7-minute drive.
But we've got multiple kids on that, correct?
I understand that, but 7 minutes is
Correct.
very different than 45. Is there anyone else who'd like to, oh wait, Tim, your hand is still up. Did you have something else you'd like to ask?
Well, yeah, just a quick question. The bus moderators, are they part of the negotiation process also?
Monitors.
The
monitors. Yes.
I mean, the monitors.
Yes.
Here, given what sounds like to be a lot of changes in bus schedules and bus locations and pickups and all of that, are we concerned that we need to republish a new everything to parents and families and caregivers, or?
Yeah, there's gonna have to be a mass communication
Okay.
and a reset.
Okay,
Yes.
if things get settled.
Yeah,
And then
yes.
we go from there. Okay,
Correct.
but that is on the horizon.
Yeah.
Okay.
And being planned for already.
Yes.
And that will be in the process of giving the routes to the district and then coordinating with Mark and the staff to get that word out there and come up with a positive communication plan to get the routes out, get everything out to the
So there's no confusion.
to the public, exactly, yeah. And it's not something we wanna like rush into so that we don't get that word out there. We're gonna come up with a plan and a concise plan to when we roll this out, when we do it, the date and everything, and make sure that everybody is well communicated, that this is what we're doing.
Anybody else?
I just have a concern, I'm not sure if it's district or company. But I've been an SC driver for 19 years in Brattleboro. And we're always told at the start of the year, you gotta find a place for them. Some of these SC students can't sit with other students. And
They
I don't
don't
know
get-
if that's just something that's a district, we're always told, you gotta just find room for them. Well, we can't. They have to understand, the company and the district both have to understand, some of these students cannot sit with another student. They just can't. So when we go back and we're like, this isn't gonna work, you gotta make it work. The district is telling us, we gotta put this amount of many kids on a bus. SC students, you can't do that.
Yeah, well, the hope is your direct supervisors and management can help alleviate and solve those issues. That's what we've hired and contracted with the transportation.
And I just thought of it when they said they eliminated from 7 buses to 6. You're sticking more SE kids on another bus. And it just has to be resolved. Because you can't. I mean, if you drove one of our buses just one day, one route, you would know where we're coming from.
Yes.
I mean, and
And
it's
then-
true, even on a big bus, they're being packed. And it's hard.
And you have students that are on the bus. Some of them, they don't even, they can't even get along. And they're, we're forced to put them on the bus, and they say, well, spread them out. You spread them out. How much spreading can you do on a short bus? I mean,
My bus has 6 seats.
Yep.
And I have to have 1 kid per seat. You can't give me more kids. I've not been offered more, but I mean, that's an example. There was a bus that I was gonna be put on, because I had an issue with mine that had 3 seats. It's not gonna work for me. So I was given back my other bus, which works, but if you want more kids added for eliminating a bus, for me, that's not gonna work. And it's always just, the district wants us to do this, so you have to make it work.
Well, that language shouldn't be used.
But you can't always make it work. And
The
it has to come from both sides.
district has purchased a service, and our expectations are a certain standard. Exactly. Thank you.
But thank you for bringing the concern before the district.
Hi, my name's Bob. I'll describe what our job is. Our job is to get our kids to school on time, within a minute or two, make them, or present them into the school in the right frame of mind so that they can learn and have a great day. I think we do that very well before all of this. And
That's what we want.
right, and we just want a contract that reflects that. Simple.
Yep.
Because we're good at what we do.
So I'm not part of the negotiations.
No, I know.
Contract.
No, I'm just trying.
I want that too. I want this to be resolved.
I know.
And us to move forward.
Like all this week, I've been getting kids from Putney. My buddy here. I'm on Putney Road now. And they're like, Bobby, we gotta get to work in Putney. Can you take us? I can't take you. I'm not your driver anymore. And so I've had a bunch of people come up to me and say, what can we do to fix this? I'm talking about parents.
Sure.
People that work in Hannaford's, with a daughter on Elliott Street. And she cannot figure out why she can't get her daughter to school. And that bus, I'm not gonna say the number, but it's not on the schedule. It doesn't get there on the same time. The things that we do every day, you can count it within 1 minute of all these drivers.
Yeah, clearly there needs to be a resolution here and a change. That's why we're here.
Yes.
Gino Palmieri. What I hear Bobby and the other drivers saying is that the serious issues that your chairwoman, Ms. Beekman, told the company that is not acceptable, some of that is still happening, hasn't been ironed out. It's just a result of what happened in week one. The lockout turned everything upside down, and I am so happy to be back behind the wheel.
We
And
all
I'm
are.
sure all of us are. I really would like to continue working for Kosmeskis, for Travelcuz, happily, but we need a fair compensation package that meets the standards of this area.
Right.
What we're working under now, that contract is subpar in so many ways.
Yeah.
And, it sounds like Mr. Spino heard that things are looking hopeful. I'm hopeful that when we end up as drivers and monitors getting something that we have to vote on, that that we can accept it without feeling like we've been shamed, or like we've it has to be not what we wish for, but what we can live with.
Right.
It's kind of there's a parallel between what happened with the food service
Yes.
and what's happened with transportation. What's happened
Yes.
now because of a company that was bought up by a hedge fund, or actually bought up by a company that's run by a hedge fund, took over Fresh Picks. That was a disappointment, and now you've solved that problem. Great with the nutrition program. It doesn't have to be the same way with transportation, but the people in charge have to see that things get fixed in more ways than one, and including the labor situation with our contract. I think I've said enough. They have local organic food now in the cafeteria and the salad bar. I think you want local organic drivers like us, not something shipped from out of state. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't want a work stoppage. I want to be here.
Yes, we all do.
Thanks.
And we want you here. You weren't all there, but a couple weeks ago, I stopped by the picket line on Friday to say
Yep.
thank you. Thank you for everything that you do for our kids, because we know that it's above and beyond. And we know that we feel safe when they're on your buses. So thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else? Okay, thank you all very much. And this is usually the part where everybody just gets up and goes. So. You can if you want to. We can take a little pause here.
Thank you. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
for coming. And thank you for listening to our concerns.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. We're all sharing mutual. That's what we're here for. Yep. That's what we brought it. Yep. Sure.
But again, there you go. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Matt's good to see you. Yeah.
Night.
Good night.
Now, thank you for listening to us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. For coming. Absolutely.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Good night.
nice to have
Yes.
a crowd.
Thank you.
Good
Thanks for
night.
coming,
Thank you for
Tina.
coming.
Thanks for caring for our students.
Thank you.
Got quiet in here.
I knew what was going to happen.
Now we're back to empty.
Thank you
The way it
guys
usually is.
Thank you, thank you.
Are you done? That sounded awful. I didn't mean it.
Done, more ways than one.
Yeah, I bet you are. At this point, we entertain public comment on non-agenda items. So, if there's anybody in Zoom land, because I don't think the public is here.
Have we lost all our phone?
Yeah. But I do not see any hands, so. And quickly under new business, Kate, would you take the opportunity to introduce Kaylee, because I'm really happy to have her on board.
My pleasure to introduce Kaylee Richardson as our new elementary special ed coordinator.
Yay!
She gave a great interview. She's
Yes.
recommended by me. We're really happy to have her in this position. I think it's gonna work out really well.
Thank you.
Thank you. The only other actual new business I have is that we will need to schedule an executive session with regard to a student matter that couldn't be scheduled for tonight. So I will be in touch about that. And we'll see what we can do. You'll probably be able to attend by Zoom if you need to. But generally, these are nicer if you're the kind of person.
Could we add the BOCES to that?
We could if you'd like us to, Mark.
Yeah,
Take the
that'd be
vote on the BOCES. So, no problem.
And I'll talk to you about my schedule.
Okay.
Everybody, there's 4 of you, so.
Everybody can talk to me about their schedule.
There's 4 of you, you can do it without me.
So, moving on to old business. First of all, VSBA membership that we talked about last night.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Gary.
I move we pay the dues for the VSBA and stay on.
Is there any discussion? Yeah, I thought we kind of discussed it out last night. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? So Mark, you wanna let Frank go ahead and release that check?
Yep.
Or whoever releases those checks. And the other thing on old business is a policy discussion of the superintendent evaluation and contract. On feedback from our attorney and from our HR director, I'm gonna suggest that this policy be sent back to the policy committee.
I heard that.
Yeah. Yeah, I need Deborah's throat. To discuss some of the parts that were put in about who would make the determination, because they have concerns about using the teachers. Contract issues, so just, we should talk about it with them, probably with representation from the teachers, and I really think it should be bumped back to policy. Do we need to take a vote on that, or does everybody just kind of want to go, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't
Yeah,
put it up for a first reading.
Well, we have to,
Did
but
we
it
at
was-
first,
it
but
got
then
revoked,
we,
yeah.
I think it
So,
was,
yeah.
it was,
Okay then. The only thing I have under other business is that I'd like to credit Matt Shidley with the idea of the parking lot. So even if we cannot get to it tonight, if you have something you just wanna bring up, or you think we should talk about in the future, let me know, and we will put it in the parking lot, and we will get it on an agenda later.
Now, tell me how you guys ended with the parking lot last night. Is it going in the minutes, or is it going on the, how is that working?
It's going in the minutes.
Okay,
Unless it gets unwieldy,
Yeah.
in which
And then-
case we'll
okay.
make a document, and there'll be a link on the minutes to the document.
Right.
Okay.
And it could also be a document at the end of the minutes.
at the end of the minutes, it's
with
just
just the
parking lot.
list.
I'll keep an eye on what Matt
Yeah.
does and try to do the same.
Right.
Okay.
And Mark, you have things to put on there, do you?
There's concern if it's on the agenda, it's going to look as if
It's
we
being
are
talked
going to
about,
talk
okay.
about it, right,
Okay,
yes.
all right, so it's end of the minutes, all
Right.
right,
Mhm.
that works.
Yeah, I just, I should have referenced this in the report, but, I presented the concept of a board presentation calendar in Vernon last night at the SD, so everybody's seen it. I don't wanna, be repetitive. One of the things we'd like to highlight at the next meeting, if people are up to it, is actually change the location to the Canal Street School on Canal Street. And I'd love to start the, if it's acceptable to the board, start the meeting with a tour of the school. Since we've done lots of renovations to the place, we're really proud of it. Harold Wright, custodian, has literally painted every surface of the building. Would like to attend as well. I would ask Mary Cochran to join us, who's the principal of our public pre-K that is continuing to grow. So before the weather gets too bad, while we still have light, if it's okay with the board, I'd love to do that at a one-time basis.
And I actually heard from Mo several weeks ago that there might be a conflict with this space next month.
Oh,
We're
perfect.
engaged, and I said, I don't care where we meet, we can meet. Mark has a much better idea than Chris Hodges. Tim, you have your hand up.
Yeah, getting back to the policy on the superintendent contract or evaluation. What is the thinking behind kicking it over to the policy committee?
To work out the
SU
details.
policy and the SU committee is right here. The policy committee has 2 out of 3 of you there. What's the thinking behind putting it in policy?
Inviting Mike Kelleher to discuss the concerns that he has, and discussing it among all the people that are on the policy committee. This is something that needs a little more attention, it sounds like, based on the reactions I had from both Pietro and Mike.
Yeah, but Mike could speak to the SU too. And the policy committee has 3 people, you, Deborah, and Colleen. The policy committee would not have the voice of Carrie or Brian. It just seems unusual to have an SU policy being discussed by an SD committee.
It is unusual for the SU to have a policy that is unrelated to the SD. We haven't done this before because the SU does not customarily create its own policies, but we draw from the ones that the SD has already worked on.
My understanding of this particular policy, if I remember correctly, it began in the policy committee. It sort of was generated there, and every policy that goes through readings at the SU level and is formally readopted have come out of the SD policy committee. So there is this link, and we've discussed this in policy, the relationship between the SD and the SU and the transition of policy. And Vernon! I'm sorry, and Vernon. Yes, sorry about that. And Vernon, yes, I forgot that. So there are some issues having to do with staff participation, which is what caused it to get, this particular policy to get bumped for legal consideration, as well as going to HR, who is actually involved in the 360 of a superintendent. So that's the issue.
I always feel much better with any policy, whether we're passing it here at the SU or in Vernon, knowing that it's gone through your process. I get it, it's an SD process, but I completely have faith and trust in the people you get into the room and the questions that you ask and the lens that you put on looking at every policy. So I am very comfortable in saying, you guys take another crack at it. And then when it comes to us, I feel like we've done due diligence.
This has come up at SD meetings where a policy comes forward and there's a two-way street. We're going back and forth. It goes back to policy for reconsideration. It comes back to to the full board and community for comment. I think that's what's going on here.
And just to clarify, the final determination, the first and second reading would be voted on by the SU, correct?
Oh, yes, it's an SU policy. Oh, yes,
It's an SU policy.
yes.
So, okay, thank you.
The issue is that we don't have two policy committees. We don't have an SU policy committee, we don't have an SD policy committee. I think that feels a bit redundant.
And in fact, it's been done this way since the merger. And Terry, when she's been able to, has been.
I used to show up, but I gotta try to get back on a better work schedule and get there.
So it's more efficient, and it certainly wouldn't make any sense to make a policy for the SU that is a problem for the SD somehow.
Right, yeah.
Or Vernon.
Or Vernon. And we've made it a point to invite a diversity of individuals from the district to have conversations with us so that we can hear the pros and cons of an issue, language, understanding of the language, well, you were on the policy committee for a very long time, Tim. You know the process.
So just one final question. And you said that you ran it by the attorney?
Yes.
What did he say?
Specifically, you said I would not allow the union to select the persons to complete the survey. As you probably know, the union may have a very different agenda than yours in evaluating the superintendent. I suspect that they will be very happy to choose employees who will depend. You want me to go on? He had a lot to say. I'd be happy to forward the email to you.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Is there any further business to come before this board?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
there being no further business before this board, I move we adjourn.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Thank you very much, everybody, and thank you for the people who were here and left. We are adjourned at 6:23.